Now, one of my big principles is about 2-year cash flow. I find the big mistake most people make in property is what they do is they buy a property looking at what it costs now and what the interest rates are now. They don't factor in what's going to happen in the future. And that's something that you have to do if you're going to build any size of a portfolio. And remember, we're all about building your portfolio, and that means it could be 7 or 10 properties, it could be 3+1 properties, it could be whatever it is for you specifically. And the fact is, if you're going to build 7 or 10 properties and you don't take into account this sort of stuff, then you're putting yourself at huge risk, and the risk just simply isn't worth it. So what this 2-year cash flow does is it takes you through and shows you everything about the property. So what I want to do, in this case, it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 454 square foot, first floor apartment, okay? And effectively, if we're looking at that now, I'm just going to bring up the scroll. Okay, so let's just scroll down a bit. So developer's asking price 267, we're able to get a 9% discount off that, 24,000. So you're actually going to buy that. Your actual buy price will be 243,425, okay? So you're getting 9% off that. And then what you've got, reservation fees, you've got finder's fees, you've got all the bits and pieces that go into buying that property, all right? As usual, and most of this stuff is, if you went through an estate agent, it'd be exactly the same thing, all right? But most people won't put all these costs in there, so I think it's really important that you get them all in. Basically, to buy this property, which is 250,43, you're going to have to put in 97,016, so about £100,000 to buy it. Now, most people stop there, and that's all they look at. What is it going to cost me to buy it? I've got 100,000 in the bank account, I'm happy to buy it. Not so, because what we need to do now is we need to factor in the next aspect, which is the additional acquisition costs. So we put in there snagging, window dressings, washer, dryer, fridge, freezer, flooring, turf, grass. We've got bathroom accessories, we've got furniture. All these things are provided for. Now, these yellow boxes down the sides, that's so you can change things, you can adapt things. Maybe you don't want a 65% mortgage, you just change it to 70%. So that's all in there. It gives you total flexibility. We allow provisions, tenant fine fees, inventory, all this sort of stuff. So effectively, when you add all that up, there's an extra about £4,000 to be added at. So already you're at 97 plus for 101,000. All right. Now, this is to buy it and to get it ready for let. The next bit, okay, which I'll flick across to, is the monthly cash flow. All right, and this is really important for me because this is what most people miss out. Now, what we do, rent received, is this. Now, the cash flow, if you're sitting there overseas somewhere, you have the ability to choose any currency you want. All right, and this is one of the great things about this. If you're sitting in Singapore, in this case, you've got Singapore dollars, okay? Now, if you're sitting anywhere in the world, all right, if you're in New Zealand, you can change it to New Zealand dollars, Australian dollars, US, whatever you want, whatever currency. The main one will be pounds, and then the secondary one will be whichever you choose. So that's fundamental because you want to see what it's going to cost you in your own language, if you like, or your own currency. Now, rent received, less the agent's fees, so you're going to receive the net rent of that. Now, some interesting things. You've got the mortgage here, you've got arrangement fees, the term of the mortgage, so I'll give you that. But here's this, mortgage cost averaging, all right? 4.5%. Now, right now, if you're looking, this is set up for an Asian client who perhaps is going to borrow for around about 3.75. But what we do is we don't assume that interest rates aren't going to go up. So 3.75, we're actually saying mortgage cost averaging. And what I mean by that is, rather than just saying what you're paying now, let's look what the potential is over the next couple of years and put that, the average of that. Because if we do that, then when interest rates do go up, we know that we've got enough cash to actually hold that property and to hold our portfolio. So absolutely fundamental. But then you've also got in this interest only and repayment. Okay, so you've got the choice. If you get offered interest only, fantastic, the numbers are there. Repayment, the numbers are there. Then you've got your costs. So we know that in this case, on an interest only basis, this property over 2 years, you're going to come out £7,000 cash flow positive ahead. All right. If it's a repayment mortgage that you're getting, you're going to have to tip in £81 over 2 years. Okay. Or in Sing dollars, obviously, this is the answer there. Now, over there, this side is just the summary. Okay. So it just summarises all the data we went through. So you're buying for 243 with 24,000 discount. You've got, within 7 days, within 30 days on completion, so 97. Then you've got the additional, then you've got your mortgage, and over 2 years. So what this does is it gives you a really good summary. So effectively, if you buy this over 2 years, in 2 years' time, you should be about £584 that you've had to invest in that property, okay? To buy it, hold it, and to actually own it for 2 years, everything in, okay? That's allowing for void periods, it's allowing for everything you possibly think of. And you can change this, all the yellow boxes on the side, you can change whatever you want, okay? So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, this cash flow allows you to change that, all right? This is absolutely fundamental because, look, if you're just buying one property, fine. Perhaps you can go, I'm fine, I've got a good income, good disposable income, not really worried about it. You try getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties, where all of a sudden, all of those properties, the interest rate shoots up. That's where this stuff is critical. And at the end of the day, we're here to build your portfolio. We're here to hold your hand over the long term, not just to sell you one property. If we wanted to sell you one property, I certainly wouldn't be putting in most of this stuff, because I can tell you, this makes it much more realistic. Most people, they don't want all that stuff in there. They want to make it look hugely cash flow positive and be able to say to you, look, it's £400 a month you're getting in your pocket. The reality is that that's not often the case. And in fact, it's one of the things that, one of the guarantees that we offer is that what we call the realistic market rent is the realistic market rent. Why? Because so many people, lie about that. They don't put the figures in. So, part of this whole transparency and part of this whole education is, if you look at this, it's got everything on there. You don't need to add anything on there really. So you can get a really good, accurate picture of what that property is going to cost. Okay guys, have a great day, and remember, live with passion.